Miss Fish at Asbury Park Public Library. I'm missing all of you. I can't wait till we can be together again. Until then, I've picked out some books to share with you. The first one is The Windy Day by G. Brian Carreras. One day, a little breeze peeled off the trade winds and went its own way. It blew over smooth hills. It skipped over choppy seas. Whistling a song through the treetops, it gathered up speed and headed for a tidy town. In the tidy town, everyone was getting dressed, eating breakfast, and going about their business, just like every day. In a tidy house, in a tidy town, a young boy was getting dressed. Underpants, then socks, then pants, then shirt, then shoes, and always in that order. He ate breakfast, 1 bowl of Crispies, 1/2 a banana, and 1 glass of milk, and went to school. Hoo-hum! But when the wind whooshed into town, it swept up leftover pancakes, eggs, and oatmeal, alarm clocks, dominoes, bananas, photographs, newspapers, and notepads. It swept up house paint, geraniums, math papers, spelling tests, toothbrushes, cupcakes, and cream puffs. Only the boy turned and faced the wind, and he breathed it in. The breath of long ago kings and queens. He felt air that touched the edge of outer space, that traveled along the Great Wall of China. Air that ruffled the hairs of polar bears living at the North Pole. Wow. He breathed in the air that blew the dust off of pyramids, brushed the hands of Big Ben, and filled Viking sails. Air that burst from ancient volcanoes, swayed the coconut palms over Bluebeard's Island, and tickled a dinosaur's chin. Oh my. Then, just as it came, the wind went. The boy watched it go. "My name is Bernard," he yelled. The wind swept up his words and made its way out into the still afternoon, which was not to be still for long. The end. Okay. The library. And that's where I am, Asbury Park Public Library, and we can't wait to see you. The Library by Sarah Stewart. Elizabeth Brown entered the world, dropping straight down from the sky. Elizabeth Brown entered the world, skinny, nearsighted, and shy. She didn't like to play with dolls. She didn't like to skate. She learned to read quite early and at an incredible rate. She always took a book to bed with a flashlight under her sheets. She made a tent of covers and read herself to sleep. Elizabeth Brown went off to school, dragging a steamer trunk. Elizabeth Brown unpacked her books, breaking her upper bunk. She sat in all her classes and doodled on a pad, adrift in dreams of entering a reader's Olympiad. She manufactured library cards and checked out books to friends, then shot them with her midnight rage to collect the books again. Elizabeth Brown preferred a book to going on a date. While friends went out and danced till dawn, she stayed up reading late. She took the train one afternoon and promptly lost her way. She bought a house and settled down to tutoring for pay. Elizabeth Brown walked into town, summer, fall, winter, and spring. Elizabeth Brown walked into town looking for only one thing. She didn't want potato chips. She didn't want new clothes. She went straight to the bookstore. May I have one of those? Elizabeth Brown walked right back home and read and read and read. She even read while exercising and standing on her head. She made a list of groceries and tucked it in her book, then lost the list among the fruits and left with nothing to cook. She read about Greek goddesses while vacuuming the floor, attending only to her book. She walked right into the door. Books were piled on top of chairs and spread across the floor. Her shelves began to fall apart as she read more and more. Big books made very solid stacks on which teacups could rest. Small books became the building blocks for busy little guests. When volumes climbed the parlor walls and blocked the big front door, she had to face the awful fact she could not have one more. Elizabeth Brown walked into town that very afternoon. Elizabeth Brown walked into town whistling a happy tune. She didn't want a bicycle. She didn't want silk bows. She went straight to the courthouse. May I have one of those? The form was for donations. She quickly wrote this line: I, E. Brown, give to the town all that was ever mine. What did she give? Elizabeth Brown Free Library. Elizabeth Brown moved in with a friend and lived to a ripe old age. They walked to the library day after day and turned page after page after page. She gave her house as a library. Hooray! Hi, Miss Fish. We're all waiting for Someday. This book is called Someday by Eileen Spinelli. Someday I am going to be a great artist. I will wear a blue smock. I will carry my paints to the beach to paint the sea. A very rich person will offer to buy my painting for $2 million. But I will smile and I will say, I'm sorry, this painting is not for sale. It is a gift for my art teacher. Someday. Today, I am off to help my dad paint the shed green. It's where I keep my bike. I just might paint my bike too. Someday, I will make friends with a dolphin. I will call her Wilma. Wilma will let me climb on her back. We will speed across the water. We will sail beside tall ships. We will dip under the waves. I will ask Wilma to tell me all the secrets of the sea, and she will. Someday. Right now, I am shaking fish food flakes into the bowl where my pet goldfish, Pumpkin, lives. Pumpkin darts in and out of his pink castle. He blows tiny bubbles, but he doesn't talk to me. Maybe goldfish have secrets to tell. Someday, I will dig for dinosaur bones deep in a field where once a farmer grew corn and chickens scratched. I will find the bones of a T-Rex. The farmer will faint with surprise. Reporters from the TV station will bring their cameras and microphones. I will be on the evening news someday. Today, I am digging for coins under the sofa cushions. Quarters, dimes, nickels. Enough for a popsicle. Someday, I will be invited to the White House to have lunch with the president. He will want my ideas on world peace. I will wear white gloves and a hat with a rose pinned to it. I will bring the president a box of golf balls. The White House waiter will pour tea. I will eat my salad carefully. No spills on the rug. In the meantime, I'm having lunch with my brother Roger. Roger talks with his mouth full. He slurps his milk. He burps. I don't think Roger will ever be invited to the White House. Someday, I will be an animal scientist. I will travel to the South Pole. I will count macaroni penguins, all 5 million of them. I will take a very, very long time. My hair will turn gray. I will return home to a ticker tape parade. 5 million people will cheer someday. Right now, my hair is still brown, and it's jelly beans I'm counting. 10 for my little brother Roger, 11 for me, 1 extra for the counter. Someday I am going to be a gymnast at the Olympics. I will tumble and twirl across the mat. I will leap into the air as gracefully as any ballerina. The judges will swoon with delight. I'll win the gold medal. 10, 10, 10, 10 points, 10. Someday. As for today, I am practicing cartwheels in the backyard. Look out, splat. Do they make medals out of mud? Someday I will spend the night in Egypt. I will ride a camel in the silvery dark. I will feel the cool desert breeze as I climb down from the camel's back. I will take my frog print pajamas from my overnight bag and put them on behind a thorn bush. I will lie next to a pyramid in the bright moonlight. I will dream of golden palaces and pointy-eared cats someday. Tonight, I'm sleeping on the bottom bunk with Roger, who is afraid of monsters and the dark. I think he forgot to brush his teeth. His breath smells like a camel's. I turn toward the open window where the night sky glitters with stars. Quietly, Mom and Dad come into our room to tuck us in. Mom kisses our foreheads. When they leave, I go to my window. I see 2 baby owls perched on a branch of the tree. I think they're going to fly for the first time in the dark. I smile right now. Dumpty together again. After the fall, how Humpty Dumpty got back up again. My name is Humpty Dumpty. This was my favorite spot, high up on the wall. I know it's an odd place for an egg to be, but I loved being close to the birds. Then one day I fell. I'm sort of famous for that part. Folks called it the Great Fall, which sounds a little grand. He was just an accident, but it changed my life. Fortunately, all the king's men managed to put me back together again. There were some parts that couldn't be healed with bandages and glue. After that day, I became afraid of heights. I was so scared that it kept me from enjoying some of my favorite things. I walked past the wall every day, and I would think about climbing that ladder again. I really missed the birds and being high above the city, but I could never do it because I knew that accidents can happen. I eventually settled for watching the birds from the ground. It wasn't the same, but it was better than nothing. Then one day, an idea flew by. Making planes was harder than I thought. It was easy to get cuts and scratches, but day after day, I kept trying and trying until I got it just right. My plane was perfect, and it flew like nothing could stop it. I hadn't felt that happy in a long time. It wasn't the same as being up in the sky with the birds, but it was close enough. Unfortunately, accidents happen. They always do. I almost walked away again, but then I thought about all the time I'd spent working on my plane and all the other things I'd missed. I decided I was going to climb that wall. But the higher I got, the more nervous I felt. I didn't want to admit it. I was terrified. I didn't look up. I didn't look down. I just kept climbing one step at a time until I was no longer afraid. Maybe now you won't think of me as that egg who was famous for falling. Hopefully you'll remember me as the egg who got back